I'm Paul Maurer, PGA owner and director of instruction here at Edge Golf Performance. And today we're going to look at lab putters. I'm really excited to now be one of the only fitting locations of lab putters in this area. And this putter's really gained a lot of interest, I'd say, from casual golfers. So now you're starting to see it more on tour. And if you've seen the videos, the whole concept is taking the torque or the rotation out of the putter. They have this revealer where it kind of moves, and even whether you have a face balance putter or toe hang, you see a lot of traditional putters moving around like this versus the lab putters stay pretty square. So I've always felt like putting's been a strength of my game. This isn't gonna improve my green reading, not really expecting it to help my speed control, but I would be curious to see if this improves my start line consistency along with the rotation consistency in my putting stroke. I feel like this can help me convert a little bit better inside 8 feet. So we're gonna use Sam Putt Lab here to get some data where we're gonna test my gamer along with the 3 demo models we got in here. We have the Link 1, the Mez 1, and the DF3. All right, so what we're gonna do first is we have about a 10-foot putt here, relatively straight, and just some background on a 10-foot putt. If the face angle of our putter, assuming we're aimed square, big assumption, then if the face angle at impact is more than 1 degree open or 1 degree shut, we're actually gonna miss this putt. So being able to control that putter face is huge when it comes to converting inside, let's say inside 10 feet, inside 8 feet. Then when you throw slope and read on that, we have to match the read with that. So when you actually look at the physics behind making putts, kind of challenging. So let's see if this actually makes our putting truly easier. So we're gonna roll 5 balls with every putter, and we're just gonna look at some consistency ratings, because really being able to repeat what we're doing to me is truly the skill of putting. So here we go. All right, first we're gonna look at the Mez 1. All right, and what's interesting about this is actually the press grip. If you can kind of see there, it kind of forces you into a little bit of a forward press with where the shaft goes into the head. So let's see what we get here. All right, initial reaction, that definitely feels different. I felt like the line was pretty good. It definitely doesn't feel like any manipulation of my stroke in the backstroke. I did seem to have a little tendency to be a little left, but they seem to be fairly consistent. One thing we're gonna do in a later video is the actual fitting process, where my lie angle might be off a little bit, but it also might be something where I need to check my alignment. But in terms of consistency, felt pretty good, but as we know, feel and real are not the same thing. Right, next, we are gonna check out the Link 1, kind of your traditional looking blade. It is a little longer, I would say, from toe to heel than most of your traditional blades, but we're gonna give this a go and let's see what happens. All right, initial reaction on the Link 1, definitely different than the Mez. The forward didn't have the press grip, which was a little different, and again, going off of feel, felt a little bit better off the face, felt like the start line was pretty good. I like the weighting here. Between the 3, I feel like I'd be leaning towards this right now, but again, we're gonna dive into the data. All right, so next, we're gonna look at the DF3 putter. All right, so the DF3 putter was kind of the response to their original DF 2.1, had a much bigger head. You can see it's not your average looking looking putter, and again, the goal was to make it look a little less weird while getting the same forgiveness that you were getting on the initial one. Okay, so it's kind of unique how the shaft sets in the head. Again, it looks like we have one of the press grips here, more of a pistol, a little thicker. Not my favorite, but we're gonna test it anyway. And again, you can kind of see how that shaft is going in more of like an angle there. So let's see what happens. Wow, okay, that was different. Made all 5 putts, but more importantly, it just felt super consistent off the face. Not my favorite looking putter, but you know, can always get over looks with results. So really curious to see this. I would be shocked if this is not the most consistent roll. Again, so I feel like when people come to buying putters, know plenty of players that have just mounds of putters in their basement. There was no real science behind why this putter, or a lot of times we end up buying it based off of emotion because we had a poor round or just haven't made any putts in a while. Is that more of a product of we weren't properly fit in the first place? We have low skill, so we're going to go through those low periods, and then we kind of go through a honeymoon phase with a new putter because there aren't the battle scars of our previous rounds. But what we're going to look at here is we're going to dive into the data of all 4 putters. Again, the main things I'm really looking for is, hey, is my start line more consistent? Is the rotation rate more consistent? Because I need to make more putts inside 10 feet. And then next week, I'm gonna go out and play with it, and let's see what happens. All right, so let's go look at the data. All right, so really interesting results here. So I pulled up a multi-competence report here, and I'll talk through a couple things, but really, again, when I'm looking on Sandputt Lab, the consistency of the stroke to me is truly the skillful part. So I'll zoom in here in a bit, but a couple main ones are DF3, the last one I was really excited about, is going to be kind of our darker blue. The Mez, more your classic mallet putter, is going to be more your kind of forest green. We have the Link, which is more your classic style blade, which is going to be the reddish maroon, and then the teal is going to be my current gamer, the TaylorMade Spider GT Max. So looking at the consistency, this one right here, head and heels above the rest, was the Mez. It felt pretty good. I think I said that, well, no, of the 3, I mean, honestly, it felt the worst. You know, but super consistent. You know, again, kind of this green threshold here, that's typically kind of where you're looking tour and above. And admittedly, I haven't been working on my putting a ton lately, but if there's a tool that can help me perform better without spending all those hours, then frankly, sign me up. So when I look at my consistency ratings, the Mez, 80.5. Everything else was kind of in the mid to high 60s. Timing of my stroke is all pretty similar and pretty solid, so I don't think that's going to affect my ability to control the speed of the putt. And yeah, so let's kind of look at a couple specific things here, but really, really interesting stuff here. All right, this first report, we're going to look at our face of the address, and again, kind of the consistency of the aim. Now, I'll see players that tend to have a push or a pull bias, which is going to be reflective of their aim. But again, can I line up consistently every time, whether I'm using a line on the ball or how the line or alignment aid of the face can help us? And I was at 91% with the Mez. Second best was actually my gamer at 86%. Okay, this is what I was curious to see. And actually pretty interesting. So again, the consistency numbers are over here, is how consistent was my face at impact. Now, I will say the Mez was actually probably the most shut at impact. I'm gonna do another video on the fitting process where I know that my lie angle needs to be a little bit slightly different, which could improve that there. But this is wild. Looking at the consistency of my face to path in the stroke. What's amazing is 88% consistency with the Mez, while second place was the Link at 25%, then 15% with the DF3, and then my Gamer at only 8% consistency. That is wild. To see. So again, hey, is this a reason why I'm missing some of these shorter putts? I should be converting at a little higher. All right, and the last thing we're gonna look at here is the consistency of the timing of my stroke, which again, I think is kind of an overlooked part of, being able to manage the face and not just manage speed. So my most consistent backswing was actually the DF3, then the Link, then the Mez, all pretty high percent in the green here, but my Gamer was actually well below that. Then looking at impact timing, the Mez was well above the rest, all kind of in that green, so all pretty good for the overall impact time, but just a lot more consistent with the Mez overall. All right, so after looking at all of that, here is the Mez that is going in my bag for next week. So this was kind of the one that I was looking at before they even arrived, just because I feel like it was a head that wouldn't look so foreign to me. I putted with a mallet now for years, so I wasn't too interested in going back to a blade. DF3 felt great. The results were pretty good, but again, looking at the numbers, I don't think I can trust that too much more than my Gamer. So curious to put this in play next week, and I will let you know how it goes. Also, stick around because we are going to have a video on the actual fitting process. I'm kind of curious with the Mez here if I can improve some of my consistencies of the direction with the lie angle. All right, so again, fan of these putters for sure. Was it head and heels above my Gamer? In some regards not so much, and in some regards even a little bit worse. So I think when picking a putter, it's really where are you losing those strokes on the green? Is it something with your timing? Maybe it's green reading, so it doesn't matter what putter you're using, that we better not have a good putter because we need poor matchups to actually sink a few putts from time to time. Or is it really start line? And that's where I felt like I haven't been super consistent, and really curious to put myself in a lot of those 4 to 7 foot range putts next week and see what happens.